So before we go any further into this interview then, just let you know there's a lot of people connected, so there is some lagging, there is some buffering in it, and you may notice from time to time that the audio and the video does go out of sync, so apologies in advance for that. This may be one of those kind of videos where you're best off just listening to it and letting the video play in the background and treating it more as a podcast. If you'd like it to be a podcast, let us know in the comments below and we'll see what we can do for you. It may become our first ever podcast. So yeah, let's dive into the interview. Hi, welcome back to Detailing World. In this video, we're going to be having a chat with Turtle Wax, learning a little bit about the company and what they have to offer in the future. So, over to you guys. Can you introduce us all and tell us a little bit about yourselves?
I'm Christian Foster. I'm the UK marketing manager at Turtle Wax. Been with the company now this is coming into my 7th year. So I work really closely with the UK sales teams, working with our relationships with retailers like Halford, Car Parts, FPS, all the sort of main distributors and retailers throughout the UK. So that's a little bit about me.
Cool. Holly, Kelly?
Sure. I'm Kelly Cagney. I'm the global marketing director here at Turtle Wax. So I'm in charge of, telling all of our amazing Turtle Wax stories and bringing the amazing innovation that Darren and Mike and team create out of the lab and bringing it to life and making sure that all of our detailers and automotive enthusiasts know all of the reasons why our products are so amazing.
Perfect. I think the next on the line is Holly, but I'm not sure if she's listening.
I'm here. I'm the digital marketing manager, so I handle all things social media, as well as handling the influencers with Kelly.
We've got Matt Chapman.
Hi, Matt Chapman, European Marketing Controller. I've been with Turtle Wax for 20 years, so I'm responsible for bringing all of this great tech and innovation from the US over to Europe, Middle East and Africa. So I head up the team over here.
Cool, and then we've got Jim.
Yep, Jim Cozy, brand manager for Turtle Wax. I co-lead the global innovation team with Fred Joseph. So constantly working on new products, new product development, global innovation. And I'm going on my 19th year with Turtle Wax.
19th, wow. You guys have been with the company a long time. Then we've got Nicholas.
Yep, indeed. So I'm Nick Janicki. I am a senior manager of content and digital marketing. So I work closely with Kelly and Holly on all things content, from photo to video, and ultimately syndicating that content across all of our online properties with paid media and across.
Okay, and then we've got Darren. Maybe haven't got Darren.
We'll come back to Darren in a moment, I think.
Yeah, no audio.
And then I'm not sure who we've got on the unknown one, but whoever's on the unknown one. So who's the best person to direct the question about the history or the overview of Turtle Wax?
That's a good one.
Who wants to take that question?
I'm happy to take that one. Yeah, this is Kelly. So the history of Turtle Wax is incredible. We are going on our 75th year as a brand. And we started in 1944, actually, known then as Class Stone. And we were invented by a gentleman named Ben Hirsch, and he was an inventor, he was an entrepreneur, and he was always looking for a better way. At the end of the day, he just, he tinkered, he was a magician, he invented the chocolate-covered frozen banana. But he loved automotive and he loved cars. And so one of the things he was looking for was a better way to keep them clean, shined, and protected. So he invented Plastone in his bathtub. And Turtle Wax was born and bred in Chicago, which is our hometown to this day. And Ben was the wax, half of a fender, half of a hood, and then showcase the result were. And people would come out from the games after and be like, I want my whole car to look like that. And he was able, for 5 cents, you can buy the whole bottle. And so that kind of started us getting well known in the area. Well, and then it was on a fateful trip to Turtle Creek, Wisconsin, around 1946, where he started to think, turtle, hard shell finish. We shall call the product Turtle Wax. And it was just that clever name that stuck. And so the brand really started to take off in that late 40s, 50s time, of course, the heyday of automotive in so many ways. And Ben really had his sights set on not just making, Turtle Wax well known in the US and making it, a great product to have in your automotive arsenal, but he also wanted to see it, around the world. And so it was in that late 50s, early 60s timeframe where he started to bring the brand all across the world with our first distribution partner in Scandinavia, who are still our distribution partners to this day, which is incredible. And so with that then, after Ben's passing, his daughter, Sandra Healy, took the company by the reins, and she's the one to this day who's still our chairman of the board. And she is the person who guides and drives our innovation, the company spirit. And she is really the visionary who brought Turtle Wax to be the pop culture icon that it is today. But it was with her partnership with Dennis Healy, who really brought the brand to where it was from an innovation standpoint. So Dennis was a chemist. He worked for Colgate-Palmolive originally, and he held 9 patents in chemistry. He was one of the inventors of deodorant. Sandra and Dennis met at a chemistry conference, and it was fate. They were in line for the buffet for lunch, and it was love at first sight, as they like to say. So it was their partnership, their relationship that then expanded Turtle Wax to 120 countries worldwide to this day, as well as led that award-winning innovation and those pop culture moments. Dennis passed away at 86 years of age this past October. So this year is also really dedicated to him, his life, and his legacy. Part of that legacy is the R&D team who are on the phone with Mike and Rod and Fred, and all of that innovative spirit that they injected into the company. We're now on our 3rd generation of ownership. So as I said, Sandra is still our chairman. She is the energy and the life force throughout Turtle Wax, but her son, Dennis John Healy, is now our executive chairman, and he helps us run our day-to-day operations. And so we are so proud to still be family owned and operated. We are still proud to lean into that ethos every day of driving innovation, finding a better way in the marketplace, and really continuing to excite the marketplace. If you look at Turtle Wax history, there has not been a decade that a Turtle Wax innovation has changed the game. We, in the 1980s, it was Minute Wax. In the early 2000s, it was ice and being able to put those products on in direct sunlight. Our Max Power car wash, our Hybrid Solutions ceramic line, now Hybrid Solutions graphene. I mean, pretty powerful stuff. And what the incredible part about Turtle Wax is so many of the people on this call are the people who brought those innovations to market, including guys like Mike and Darren, Jim, Rod, and Fred. So really incredible. And that is, that's the history of Turtle Wax and why we all live and breathe and love this brand so much. And we really appreciate the opportunity to tell you guys more about that, because it's a story that I think needs to be more and more uncovered, it's a rarity in this day and age.
For sure, because it's a well-known brand, certainly in the UK.
Yeah.
Right?
So I would say, from a UK point of view, it was the first place they built an extra facility. So in 1966, there was a factory built in Skelmersdale. So we had a physical presence in the UK since the 60s, which is why we've operated as a secondary part of the Turtle Wax family over here in the UK for a long, long time. With our own color magic came from here, and there's always been a synergy between the UK and the US.
Okay, so you've got a certain amount of ranges at the moment. I think we just heard that you've got ice and essentials, and you've got the new hybrid ranges coming out. With those, they obviously are targeted at different markets. So, for instance, the new hybrid pro range, I'm guessing you're looking at trying to get more of a pro detailer involved in that in your market, rather than the enthusiast or what we call the weekend warriors.
again, I'm not going to speak for everybody, but Telwax is always a bridging brand between the enthusiast and the high-end detailer. Whatever we do, we make sure it's easy to use, regardless. But yes, as we go up, the technical skill and expertise is needed to use a DA, etc. So that's where ProLine was specifically developed.
And I think, Darren, you tell us such a great story too about, you know, your vision for bringing hybrid solutions to market, and, you know, in partnership with Jim and the teams. Do you want to talk a little bit about your vision for hybrid and why we've set up, you know, the hybrid solutions core range as well as the pro range? Oh, if we can hear him, we still don't have audio. Shoot.
You have so much.
Jim, do you want to? Yeah,
absolutely. So, I mean, with the hybrid solutions pro range, and as I stated earlier, I've been with the company 19 years, but we really needed to take to the next level, right? We wanted to bring, like Matt said, easy to use products to the professional detailer, right? So the biggest thing here is we want to make their jobs easier. We want to make it more affordable for them and for their clients, and we want to bring the newest technology to the market. Is really what it comes down to.
Cool. Sounds good. So let's talk a little bit about that hybrid range. You've got the hybrid ceramic range, and you've obviously got the new hybrid graphene range. So the ceramic range, is that aimed at your enthusiast and your detailer at home, or is that aimed as a professional product as well? Can it be used in both environments? I'm guessing it can.
Yeah, definitely can be used in both environments. I mean, we've seen a lot of professionals going towards the hybrid solution spray coating as their product of choice. They're asking us to produce, you know, these products in larger quantities, larger sizes, so that they can, you know, keep them on their shelves. With the hybrid solutions pro range, the same thing. I mean, these are products that are going to be geared towards both because they're easy to use. Okay. It's not, you know, yes, with the one and done compound, you need to use it with a dual action polisher or rotary polisher. With the polish and wax in the hybrid solutions line, you can use that by hand. Yeah. Is it better to use by dual action? Absolutely. So, I mean, it's kind of hitting both ends of the spectrum there.
So with the hybrid range, at the moment, you've obviously got the one and done compound. You've got the flex wax spray, and then you've got the to the max wax, I guess, is a solution. Are you intending to bring or extend that range so that you can go across all the areas, like wheel care and interior care? And I know that when we came onto the video prior, with the launch video, you had like an interior disinfectant type cleaner, but will they be branded more towards the hybrid range, so you've got a whole system?
Does anybody want to give that
one?
Yeah,
I'll take it. So again, we're not done with hybrid solutions. We're not done with hybrid solutions pro, or in fact the core line. We will continue to innovate products within those as long as they fit, like you said, that target demo. So products that are designed for that pro detailer, that are high-end, multifunctional, give incredible value for a high user like a professional detailer with that quality. Yes, there will be more products coming into the pro line, and the same for hybrid solutions that pay a little bit more than our core line to get those incredible results, but still incredible value for what they deliver. There's more coming. There's more coming this year. So they're not all about ceramic. We've got interior products. We've even got other ones coming into the hybrid solutions line. And as you said, on the core line, we are still household name, giving more good functional products for that core consumer, and we'll still
good value for money, I would say.
Well, it's always, again, value is it's a judgment call, and it's equality for the price, and that's why we're good value. Doesn't mean cheap.
I'm going to jump in with one.
This is Mike.
Oops, go ahead.
It's Mike Schultz. I'm sorry for late. I couldn't figure out how to join this thing. Finally figured it out. But anyway, what I was just going to say is, look, what we realize is we're going to raise the bar in every segment that we go in. So when Matt said we're going to continue, absolutely, but we're only going to participate when we know we can raise the bar. And we're following our mantra and our strategic plan, which is we want to make it easy for the consumer to use. We want them to delight in the performance. We want to be second to nobody. So we want to make sure that when we enter this game, there's a lot of high expectation. And we will continue to monitor competition to make sure that our offering is top notch. So yes, you will see introductions into each Hybrid Solutions Pro and into Hybrid Solutions as we can raise the bar in the category.
Perfect.
That's great.
Matt,
yes, I was just going to add, or ask rather, is towards I think it was the middle of last year, you brought out I forgot what the exact name is now, the Hybrid Solutions Black, I think it was. I think that was the name you called it. Have you got any more, either for the black range or just any more colour ranges? Like, white, is that an option, or does it get tricky when you start talking about reds and blues and greens? That's the real curveball.
Yeah, it's not on the slate. You never say never.
And I would just add, Mike, you always talk about that in terms of when we launched Color Magic to begin with, what car paint looked like then in terms of what car paint looks like now. So, and you know,
Sure.
just tell the guys a little
Absolutely.
bit.
If you notice that, first of all, back years ago, and I'll just start by saying I've been with the company for I'm going on 38 years. So when I started with Turtle Wax back in the early 1980s, the predominant form of car wax was paste wax, and it was used on primarily single stage paints. Clear coats were just starting to become into the market, mostly with European cars and the higher end cars. And you quickly realize that as the clear coats got better, the gloss and the appearance of cars were lasting longer and getting better. Yes, there was peeling clear coats, delamination that was happening, lots of scratching and problems, and association with products. You had to develop products to fit the technology of the day. So Color Magic Black was actually designed originally to really fill in the imperfections, get rid of the dullness for the consumer, because a lot of the single stage paints really didn't, they showed a lot of scratches and they dulled very, very quickly. And there was a quick way of using a colored product, whether it be red, black, green, blue, whatever the colors were at the time, of filling in those scratches and making the whole finish look more uniform. And almost instantaneously, within about 30 minutes to 60 minutes of work, there was a big improvement to the cars. But then as the finishes continued to develop and we went to more clear coats, the clear coats got thinner. They got more, they're starting to use more high strength steel and plastics on the exterior bodies. They're expecting the coatings to do a lot more. Basically, a lot of your clear coats today are good for at least 12 years in normal weathering. I mean, they don't degrade, they don't craze and crack like they did years ago. But if you don't take care of them, they don't look as good. A lot of people bought silver and white cars for a reason, because they didn't show a lot of dings, dents, and swirls and scratches. That's the one thing I don't like about silver, is I like to be a little bit more flashy. So I like the reds, the brighter colors, the brighter metallics, the reds, the blacks. But as consumers' color preference changed also, if you think about it, there's only like five colors that are very, very popular in the world. And it is white, black, silver gray, red or metallic reds. You can break it into like 3 different categories. What do they miss? Green and gray, silver, and charcoal gray, so black. So there's only like 5 colors that really consumers really focus on. You could probably fit 85% of all the cars on the street into those 5 categories. So it's a matter of, when it comes to a black car, that offers that is really the biggest challenge, because today's finishes is much more flawless as they were in prior years, and so they show more imperfections. So that's one of the reasons why we got into the hybrid solutions of ceramic acrylic black as well as the Pro Series, is to really be able to bring those finishes back to equal to factory finish or even better. But also what's important is to preserve that clear coat. That clear coat is only about 2 mils thick. So that's why we have our precision platelets in our one and done compound, is because it only cuts, or it only removes the defects that you need to in a very precise way while preserving the remaining clear coat. So like I said, we're all focused on restoring and renewing exterior finish in a way that's beneficial and a way that's easy. Does that kind of sum up for you, Kelly?
Me?
Sorry, I jumped all over the place, but you had to bring up clear coats and color magic from next year, so I had to go all the way back to the 90s on that.
He's very passionate about that topic, so I had to make sure that he was able to talk about it.
So let's talk about the new brand, the new range, I should say, rather than brand, the range with the graphene in it. So what does graphene offer over, say, the ceramic range?
I guess I have to jump in on that one too. So why did we go down the range of graphene? Basically, our ceramics, one of the things Fred Joseph really brought to the table a few years ago was new technology, and which we've made a name as far as our durability and chemical resistance. So we started out with something called Seal and Shine, or your sealant wax mat that you had there, and we knew that we had durability covered. Well, we knew that consumers were moving more to more beneficial branding and products that offered more performance, but we had to add the performance that a consumer could see, touch, and feel, and experience. That was a big part of it. So everybody had gone ceramic, and we were there. We had some really good shine, really good durability. But we knew that there was a professional ranger, prosumer, that was always looking to strive to get the best. And we started seeing people work with graphene oxide. Graphene oxide is similar to graphene. It's a derivative of graphene, but it's easier to work with. It's really a black pigment material that has some of the benefits of graphene, such as its thermal conductivity, it's protective. We actually went down the route of using actual graphene. We were working with a supplier, and most of the technology is really built about graphene, because graphene has, again, it has all these conductivity, thermal conduct, where it can dissipate static charges. It's thermally stable and dissipates heat very readily. It's extremely flexible, durable, and it's the thinnest and strongest material known to science. And graphene is not easy to work with. And I talked to a supplier, and he said, just so you know, you just can't take this graphene. You can't just put it in a beaker and mix it up and have something. He said, there's a lot of processes out there. So I was working with this company's their chief science officer, and I described a process. I said, I'm familiar with the process from years gone. He said, that's kind of interesting. So I followed this process, and I've got a patent going on it now. So I was able to take graphene and slice it into its individual platelets. So I'm getting it to less than 10 platelets thick, which it's very transparent. The benefit of this, by refining graphene into a purer form, we were able to use graphene to be able to hook our polymer chemistry and our durability chemistry and shine chemistry onto that backbone of graphene, so create this matrix. So when it goes on the finish, graphene being one atom thick, has a tendency to want to get into the pores of the paint and carry our active ingredients with it. So what I call it, and I think what I was telling marketing, it's more of a denser protection package on the surface. So your gloss is higher, the slickness is higher, the durability is really outstanding. So what we're providing is that consumer that's looking for that ultimate shine, that ultimate protection. something that they're going to be able to grab onto. And let's say you have a Porsche or a nice Mercedes, you're going to probably experience and see the best shine and polishing experience you could ever want to with our products. You want to experience with our products. So people are passionate about cars, and they're willing to use to spend the extra money to get the performance that they're looking for. What we're trying to do is provide that next level, that next experience, but at an affordable price. And we want everybody to enjoy car care. We want everybody, because that's part of it. The therapy for me anyway is getting out there, washing a car, taking care of your own car and saying, hey, I did that. And that car looks great because I did that. So it's all about not just the prosumer, but also to reach out into that level where the professional operates as well, because we want our product to be able to perform at even the best levels. So the graphene is what really kind of personifies where we're going with our hybrid solution line and bringing the best durability, the best shine in this denser packed package that goes on the exterior of the car.
Well, I think myself and Matt have both tried Flex Wax and Max Wax at the moment. And yeah, I can agree. It brings a fantastic shine to the car, and it certainly adds protection. I mean, we're in our winter. It's not a harsh winter at the moment, but we certainly had some rain and some ice and freezing conditions. And the beading, I think we've sent you a couple of shots of some of the beading that we're getting out of certainly Flex Wax. Seems to be up there amongst the best. It really does seem a very good product.
Some of the beading shots you sent through were phenomenal, Bill. They were good.
Yeah, that was
very good, and the product's very, very, very easy to use.
Yeah, we
really
used that
simple.
as well about two or 3 weeks ago, I think. It was about 1, maybe 2 degrees outside, so I was maybe 36, 37 to the Americans. Yeah, it was near enough freezing temperatures when I was using it, so and it still worked in those conditions. So yeah, happy days there.
So with the graphene, do you think there's another stage further than graphene as well?
I think we have to continue to work on it. Like I said, I'm right now, the way we process graphene, I've got a distribution curve where I'm getting a majority of the platelets of graphene to be transparent and probably under 15 layers. I think we're averaging close to 10, but I do want to take that a little step further. In our process, it was kind of funny that I reported my findings back to the supplier. He wanted to know how we were doing. He saw the orders coming in for their base material, and I explained to him, I said, yeah, we've actually got it to where we can actually get it to go transparent. That's why you see our product is not black like graphene oxide. Is the closer we get to small to refining it into smaller stacks of platelets, the more transparent it is. And the supplier looked at me and says, when you get this thing patented, we may want to license back the distribution of your material. They're currently selling it to Ford, and Ford has developed some kind of engine bay coating, I guess, because the graphene reflects the heat or dissipates the heat off the engine compartment. So it reduces a lot of thermal degradation. So I know we're on the right track. So yes, we have to continue to refine our graphene so it can be used in more different applications.
So just picking up on that, you've obviously got an R&D center, your research and development, and you've obviously put a fair amount of research and development into this product. But do you work with people like Ford and other people to help you develop the product even further?
Well, not so much Ford, but we do have, there's laboratories. Like I said, where we got the graphene came out of another laboratory. In other words, you take the process, you take the research that they've done, and you take it a step further, and you collaborate with them. So it's kind of like where I got my start. I didn't start from scratch. I didn't start with graphite. Obviously, they had their processes in place where they were getting us a certain quality level, and we were able to take it a step further. But in every research lab, there's so many different ways to go with different applications. Sometimes just your experience is enough to bring up a high idea. You know, one of those, I got it. What if we did this? I don't know. You got to try it. And when I explained what we were doing, we have an NDA with them, and basically non-disclosure agreement. And basically they said, whatever you're doing, we think you're on the right track. So, you know, the easiest thing we could have done is gone to graphene oxide, but everybody is using graphene oxide because it's much easier to formulate with. But we're not going down that path because, again, we want to be unique. We want to have the technology kind of lead the charge, and we want to make that statement that, you know, we may be your everyday car wax on the retail side, but with all the tech we have, we know we can play at a higher level.
So I presume you have your own laboratory in Chicago there. I guess you do your testing in-house with like salt against salt and conditions and wet and all the rest of it. Is that something you do in-house there? Because I think I saw some of your online stuff with your social media that you had a few detailers over there last year, maybe the year before, where they did they went through the desert and various places and stuff with a different product. I guess, is that something that you do?
Well, it's kind of, I'm glad you brought that up because it really comes down to part laboratory test and part on-road testing. Laboratory testing, I shouldn't say this. I don't like working in the laboratory most of the time because things can work a lot better in the lab. You really have to use it outside and on real cars. So what we do is there's not one employee at our company that doesn't have some form of a test on their car because we grab everybody's car. But really, you have to put it through a real world test. Where the detailers come in handy is because they're in different regions in the country. By handing the product, you know, a California experience or weathering may be different than what happens in Florida, where you have rain every afternoon and water spotting is more. There's years just to do a lot of South Florida testing on racks out there. We've gotten to the point where we know what we're looking for, and we've developed our own protocols. And what I have personally found is when you do static testing, like in South Florida, that's only one form of testing. It's not the real world. And the real world really comes on to having your car driven on the road, getting the salt, and that seems to be more beneficial and providing us with more real data. When we see a car, like I said, it's always the hood, roof, and trunk that we're working on. We will monitor those sections and testing almost on a week-to-week to monthly basis, so we can. It's what I call the power of observation.
Yeah.
Observing what's really happening in real time, in real weather conditions, and we know that in summer months, the finish of a car can get up to 140 or 160 degrees Fahrenheit, depending on the sun conditions and the color of the car. So those are all real world things that you want to experience. And then when you have water hit it and it forms a nice water spot, these are the things you want to look at. And those are the things that we want to observe and study so we can develop better products.
So do you
real world testing is better.
Do you do some sort of like beta testing where you send out sort of pre-production product to detailers or
all the time?
Enthusiasts
all the time.
Just get feedback from that product and say, actually, this product is not shiny enough, or it's you do that. And do you do that in all countries, or is it mainly in the States? Or
no, we do it in the UK as well. Because UK's the most tolerant of all the weather conditions compared to California. It's never that hot, it's never that cold. But we do it.
But absolutely, we're looking for feedback. In fact, we like to use the comments that we like the feedback from people, and even to help us develop better products.
Yeah, because I guess sometimes, obviously, when you're giving products away, which you do with the social channels and stuff, people expect to get a good review back sometimes, and we get that certainly with detailing work, where we'll review products, but we try to review products in a fair manner. That if we feel the product's good, we'll say it's good. If we feel that it needs something to be improved, we'll say it needs to be improved. We won't just diss the product because we might be using it incorrectly. For instance, I used Flex Wax the other day and didn't read the instructions deliberately and over applied it to my car just to see what would happen. And I did get up in the next morning and look and think, oh dear, I've made a mistake here. But actually, very easily corrected with some quick detailer and made it look as good as new. But it's actually good to get that feedback that it was very simple to actually correct even though it was mega over applied. And I mean, seriously, 3-4 shots a panel, really over applying just to see the results of what would come from it. But it was actually a very easy product to actually rectify.
Bill, but you hit on the head. When we work with detailers, we're very much open to criticism. We start with a premise of what we want to try to accomplish, and sometimes that premise is wrong. And it's sometimes you have to, and that's why the feedback the honest feedback is necessary. It doesn't mean that we made a serious mistake. We just made a decision that we think that something is more important than one attribute is more important than another. And sometimes we're wrong. And people will come back, or they'll have another idea on it.
Yeah.
They'll come back and they'll say, you know what? I know what you were doing here, but I think it would be really beneficial if it was more towards this. And you go, oh, aha, okay. And it's kind of like I sometimes think of myself and my team is we're all chefs. And how you want it spiced maybe unique to your area or to your conditions. And we always start with a premise that's based on science. In other words, it's not really, there's no magic foo-foo that we added these things to change the attribute. It starts based on a base formula that's based on science, and we know what we're trying to do. But there are different attributes that individual detailers are looking for, or they want that product to do something to work in conjunction with another product. And those are sometimes where you get those aha moments. I said, oh, we missed it. So, not only do you want this, you want it to be able to do this and prep for the next step. So those are some of the learnings you go through. And but it all starts with a premise, usually out of marketing and collaboration with R&D, and we'll build something that we think consumers are looking for. But we don't prove it until we actually test it with consumers and details to make sure we're on the right track. So when you get a product, you are going to get a product that's going to perform.
And I think the point about the channels, you're not going to survive for long if, as an influencer or as a channel, if you don't tell the absolute truth.
Yeah.
And I think that one of the reasons why the renaissance that we've enjoyed is from credible detailers using our products and giving honest reviews about the products. It's a whole new world.
It's certainly, I mean, on detailing world, obviously we have a lot of professional detailers that come on and things like that, but there is some snobbery, I guess is probably the right word to put in there, that Turtle Wax is deemed it's an enthusiast product, not actually but it's actually the last, I would say in the last 2 years, in my opinion, as a more professional detailer maybe, is that the products have turned the corner in the fact that they are really competing with the high-end, boutique-y style of products that are out there. As an everyday off-the-shelf product, you go to like the local auto store and pick up a bottle off the shelf. So I think you've certainly, in the last 2 years, have certainly moved your market massively, certainly in the UK anyway. and trying to change that view of people is going to be a difficult one, I guess, because you've got the old colour magic theory where people have that stigma around it. But I think you're certainly going in the right direction.
Massively, and again, we are still one of the biggest brands in the UK, a household name, and with that comes the fact that people have put us in a box, and the cost of getting out of the box and moving lanes for car care, that's extraordinary. However, we can pinpoint almost the date, the time this changes, which was when 3 years ago someone did a video of cheap versus expensive, and that's what set the whole ball rolling of, oh, hang on a minute, maybe these guys have got something. And again, there are many of our core products that people are now realizing you don't need to pay that much.
And I think the branding's come on as well. As much as you know, I'm not going to tell you how your brand looks or whatever, but your branding's really moved forward. In the new black bottles with the hybrid logos and stuff, they do look pretty classy. To be honest, they look like they're a top quality product. Rather than you sort of like you go in and see other. I'm not going to say other competitors' product.
Can you guys hear me now? By the way, I fixed my microphone, so I've been so good just to listen to this whole thing.
Good evening.
Two cents I'll add is you guys hit it. Matt hit it. There came a point with the brand that I call it a U-turn. We made a U-turn. And the thing that's disheartening a little bit is we've always had some really good formulas, but Matt kind of stated it. We've kind of been put in that we're intro product for most people that that are looking. But if you're an enthusiast about or above, you would not be interested in the Turtle Wax. Didn't have that, and we quickly over the last 2 years have turned that around, and we're super excited. But we're still proud, and we will still follow the mantra that we're a great product at a great price. It's not that we've turned into Turtle Wax and now we want to demand crazy pricing or positioning. And so I think that's who we are, and we're going to continue to be that.
Just picking up on something that seems to be coming certainly into the UK market is eco-friendly products. Is that something that you guys would potentially be looking, in the next 5 years, whatever, that you might start bringing out more eco-friendly products, or is that you can't achieve with the protection, like with graphene?
I think that it's one of these things where, and we've made decisions internally about use of black plastic and using of carbon. So our plastic has got no carbon in, so it's recyclable. I think there's a reliance on the company being socially aware of what they're doing and what they're putting out there, but fundamentally the product's got to function. That's their priority. Same has happened to the car industry of you've got to do both. Is what you do.
Yeah, we actually participate in many recycle. We use a lot of recycled plastics in our bottles. We have to. Here in the United States, we have to comply with certain recycling requirements in order to market products, use so much recycled cardboard. It's all part of it. We also have, both in the UK and in the United States, we have a team that works on very diligently on regulatory affairs to make sure that products that we put out are safe to use. We don't use any dangerous chemistry. That's one of the things that we're very focused on. Is you may see some of the regulatory requirements for preservatives and things like that in the products in Europe, but we have Joe Whitman, who is a regulatory specialist, and Ruth Watson in the UK, that basically watch all the chemicals we use to make sure that we're in compliance with both regions, to make sure that we're not putting irresponsible products out in the market that are polluting or causing unnecessary groundwater contamination or air pollution. So unfortunately, I'm kind of like the mad scientist, and I want to use what works. I have a bunch of people keeping me in line.
Okay, so what's next for Turtle Wax? So let's say in the next 5 years, where do you see yourself going in the next 5 years? You've obviously got a plan and a bit. I don't want you to open up your trade secrets and stuff, but where do you see you guys going in the next 5 years?
Well, I can kind of answer that. I can't answer it because I'd like to show you where we're going. Before this meeting, we were just going over all the innovation that we're looking to do for this year and going into next year. We generally think about 3 years out. It's hard. A lot of people that, like for us who we sell into retail, we will be presenting products that won't be in store until 2022 in April. We will start showing retailers products that far ahead. So our innovation has to be really far out. We are already scheduled for the rest of our innovation launches for this year with the products that we're intending to do, and we're pretty far down the road. So we are going to continue in all levels of our business, from the Pro to the Hybrid Solutions line to the we call the Green line, and we're going to continue to innovate in all of those at this time. So yeah, we're excited. We have a lot of exciting new ideas. It's not boring, and it's not slowing down.
The one thing I was going to add, Darren, is one of the things I was going to add is we listen to people like yourselves and to their consumer. Where we're really good at is what we call problem solution. If you have a problem, we can come up with a solution. So we listen to our consumer base, to our customer base, and listen carefully to what you're looking for. And that's where the creative juices come flowing, is that when you see that there's a common problem that people are looking to solve, we will focus on that particular issue and make sure we develop a product that handles it. I mean, the simple solution is, the simple example is, I remember back when we changed from seal beam headlights to the polycarbonate lenses. It all of a sudden created a need to correct those fogging up lenses. So wherever there's a challenge, wherever there's a need, we will probably address it because we know there's going to be consumers looking for it.
So
a great point, Mike, is we're not just going to bring another product that everyone already has. We're going to take that and figure out what we can do to make it better, make the experience better, make it do multiple things. And like Flex Wax, you can apply it wet, dry, buff on, dry off. We're going to come out with products that are going to be multi-use products. They're not just going to be another wash, or not just going to be another, wheel cleaner, not just going to be another,
And is that something?
It's going to have some of our own to it.
Is that something you brainstorm on a regular basis in the like Chicago in the offices, or is it something you go like, say for instance, you come to say detailing world, say to the guys, throw us half a dozen new ideas that you might or might not want, and get the information from those guys as well, or is it just an internal thing that you sort of develop your products with?
I think the answer is everywhere. I personally read reviews. I read comments from your videos. We pay attention. We in the past paid a lot of money to get a group of people together to do research, and it's not that hard now. Just launch a video and read the comments, and you learn a lot. There's good and bad in there, but I mean, if you filter through it, there is a lot of info on whether the person is commenting on your video and how the product's been used, or whether you're reading a review of the person who liked the product and why they liked it. And sometimes you learn things that you didn't even know that this product did that somebody's done differently. And so I tell the team all the time, we have a ton of information now and direct us. And it's really, it's helping us grow with our ideas.
So just turning away from products for a minute, your social presence has obviously started to grow with the new branding and the new products that are coming out. Tell us a little bit about wax worldwide. You've got some guys on there that I think you have on your, I certainly looked on your website, and you've got sort of like details that have little pictures and things come up on there. Tell us a little bit about how you're developing that part of the business as well.
That's a great question. So as 2016, 2017 came around, we really wanted to, that was the start of our kind of joined up global initiative to get our products all on the same wavelength and make sure that, we really leverage that amazing 120 country footprint that we talked about. And, with digital, as you said, with social media, with YouTube, the internet kind of made our category a smaller place. We were able to share ideas more freely. We were able to check out cool cars from all over the world. And at the end of the day, we love our products and we love detailing because we simply love cars too. I mean, you talk to anybody on here, we all have our driving stories, our car stories, our favorite cars, our dream cars we want to build, cars we can't wait to drive. And so that kind of notion and that true kind of ethos we wanted to start to bring into our brand more, because it was just a simple reflection of who we were as people. We all love to travel. I mean, all the guys on here can tell you amazing stories of the places they've been and the people that they've met and the cars that they've seen from our jobs. It's really incredible. And so around that time, we started talking to a lot of the enthusiasts, and we built what we call the Shine Squad. And they're just awesome people who love cars. They have different outlook on car culture, and you can find them at a car event almost every day of the week. And so we kind of brought them together under that Shine Squad wrapper, and they help us, not only connect with really cool people and automotive enthusiasts all over the world, and we use their fans and followers and talk to them a lot, but also they, as Darren said, we learn from them every day. They're like, hey, I saw this really cool thing in Australia. I saw this really cool thing in the Middle East or in Latin America. And, we use that to learn from. But then they also help us, we're a small team. I mean, it probably feels like we're a huge team with all of us on this call, but we're just all excited. But really it's all just about, we're a small team. So we can't be everywhere all the time. So they are our eyes and ears. They shoot content for us. We posted a story yesterday of when we were actually in Argentina, and we did a really, and we went to everything about how they're detailing cars, and they have a gorgeous shop, all that kind of stuff. And then they had a 1969 silver Mustang that had been imported from the States to Argentina. And so they're like, we have this, do you want to go drive it? And we're like, well, we certainly want to go drive it. So that was really cool. So not only did they show us how they detail it and care for it with Turtle Wax products, but then we got to go cruise really cool parts of Buenos Aires in it. So really cool experiences. So that's what that kind of Turtle Wax, worldwide mantra is. And it's something that we keep bringing apart. So to your guys' point about, Arizona from 2019, we brought in people from all over the world, and it was so cool to see them sharing ideas and techniques and talk about car culture in different ways, and that's really at the end of the day what that's all about. And it's something that is near and dear to our hearts. We kind of call it our 2-car solution, right? We have our daily drivers, or we have our shop cars, or the cars that we're building, but then we have those cars that you can find us on a Sunday drive or Cool Cars and Coffee, checking that out.
So that's how you're now empowering the car community then, is to get that Shine Squad out there and get them bringing the information back into you guys as well.
Absolutely. And we have amazing partners. I mean, we have, Becky Evans in the UK, Queen Bee. She's a powerhouse drift racer. She's been, she's featured on Red Bull Racing, place like that. She's a presenter on the BBC, like just super awesome woman. And, she can crank on a car. She details a ton as well. And so that kind of cool cross section is what we look for. We also have our longest tenured Shine Squad member is Raz Krog. And, the guys he shoots a lot of work. He's a photographer. He's a commercial photographer, and he shoots for Mercedes and McLaren and brands like that. And so they'll send him to, to Italy, to Austria, anywhere, and kind of shoot stuff. And he tells this really cool story about how he was in a pit for Febuary in Italy, and they had a bottle of turtle wax in the pit that they were using to keep all of their stuff clean. He's like, y'all use turtle wax? He's like, I use turtle wax. He's like, I rep them too. And they have this like kind of cool turtle wax moment. So it's kind of cool to see, all of those awesome connections all over the.
Just with Matt being here as well. Matt obviously does all of our reviews on the YouTube channel and stuff like that. Matt, I'm probably speaking on your behalf here. you should maybe be asking this question is,
Go on.
would you guys be interested in doing a turtle wax series? We did it with another competitor of yours. We did it with, I'll mention the name, which is Dodo Juice, but we did it with them a while back. And I guess I'll probably say it's probably easier to hand over to Matt to explain a little bit more about it. But would you guys be interested in doing something like that where we can sort of highlight all of your products, not just the new ones as well? We can go back and look at the, as you call it, the green label.
We would love that. We really would. And that's, that's what we've started to hear from so many of our influencers and retailers. How can we build out these partnerships, tell more stories? And we, when we started down talking to the detailing influencers, the YouTubers and things like that, it was a simple, kind of, we're here, we want to talk to you, we see that you're talking about our products, we want to be a resource, we'll provide you with whatever we need. It came from just an authentic place. Hopefully you guys see that that's who we are as humans. We love it, we're excited about it. We wanted that discoverability of our products to be authentic. We didn't want it to be we just go in and sponsor people and they talk about what they do. We wanted everyone to be just as excited. And I think now that we've launched Hybrid Solutions Ceramic and everybody was like, whoa, like shake up the industry. And now we've done it again with graphene. And so we have a lot of folks, we've done it twice now. We did it with the black line. That's 3 times. They see that we're consistent and that we're legit. And so because of that, it's a cool opportunity now to create these amazing series with influencers, with Detailing World, and being able to say, listen, like this is the product lines that have gotten your attention, but we have so much more, and we want to keep telling those stories, and we appreciate forums like this to do that, and we appreciate you having all of us on to tell our individual bits of it, because this is the team, these are the people every day that are grinding, and again, it's just because we simply love it.
Absolutely.
You've sort of asked the question I was going to ask was what's next for Detailing World. I've followed your channel for I've been with the company now nearly 7 years, so I've followed your channel I think maybe about three and a bit. Follow you, not in a stalker type way, follow you both on Instagram as well. So yeah, I was going to ask what's next for Detailing World, because your audience has grown quite steadily over the last 6 months, and that's testament to you two guys, basically.
Yeah, it has. There's another person involved actually in Detailing World called John. He's the other he's the other founding member. But I run the forum, I run Instagram, and Matt tends to look after the YouTube channel for us. Where are we going to go? YouTube's probably going to become bigger for us. We're going to do more reviews, video reviews. I think video is huge. We'll actually get people to see stuff rather than just having a photo. So the forum, we're looking to potentially redevelop it a little bit, because obviously forums are a bit old hat, as they would say, but it's a massive resource. The encyclopedia of questions and stuff that's on there is huge, and you can't get that on a Facebook group. It just doesn't happen. So I think the forum still has a place in the world. Our Instagram page, literally within 2 years, went from 500 people to 155,000. I think we are now, something like that. So it's grown massively within 2 years. I think, and again, it's down to having the right content, having the right people on board. For instance, some of your products when they get launched, to have your products on our channel as well helps bring people and the community into us as well, because they're seeing that we're not just about high-end products that cost thousands of pounds. It's the whole range of products from £5 to £500. We want to be able to show that detailing is not just about high-end products. It's about the whole range, and detailing is everything from your weekend warrior, the guy that sits on his driveway that just wants to make his car look shiny. He doesn't really care if it's got swirls or whatever, and he just wants to make it look really shiny. And there's products out there that work really well for them. And then they get hooked onto that, which is where I guess we come in, that they can then look at that resource and go, well, can I take that product a little bit further? Can I use it a little bit better? Can I use it for something else? Can I actually improve on that product, or is this the best product? And that's where the guys on the channel talk a lot. But we've discovered that with the YouTube channel, we certainly want to create that into being a really good resource. And much like the forum has been over the last 10 years is to make our YouTube channel a really good resource, rather than just putting up, you know, videos for the sake of putting it up. We want to put up quality videos, and then, you know, that's why, for instance, we asked if we can do a series with you, because I think it'll be really interesting to do a series with what is termed, I guess, has that stigma about it. Like you say, you're in a box, but you're breaking out of that box and becoming a brand that can really stand up to the big guys, if you want to put it that way, of the detailing world. And we can show that by you know, putting, say, for instance, blank bottles against a high-end thing. Yep. And we can show that on a bonnet, and then Matt can show, and then we can reveal the results at the end of the video and things like that. So I think that's probably where certainly this next 12 months is going to take it. We also, hopefully, if we ever get away from this nasty virus that's out there, we'll get Wax Stock back on track. We're actually partners in Wax Stock, you know, and it's a show that's grown massively over the last 5 years, 6 years. The biggest detailing show in Europe, I guess, is probably the right to say. It was sort of come out the back of SEMA, and so we'd love to get back into doing Wax Stock as well, and get that up and running, so that we can get all the guys there and they can all show off their products and show what detailing is really about.
Yeah, no, and I think, like you said, in my experience for the past 20 years, the renaissance we've experienced for the past 3, over the barriers to entry for detailing have just crumbled, from YouTube showing anybody who's got a vague interest all the steps and how to get in. And it used to be a closed shop, but it's just booming because people are going, oh, okay, I'll just follow these instructions. And, you know, there are some companies that are making very easy to use products that allow them to get in without having to get a second mortgage. I mean, Paddy McGuinness took up detailing over the lockdown. It's, you know, it's getting out there, and we've seen the category in the UK be flat for 20 years until the past 2 or 3.
Yeah.
So,
I think what you're doing, Matt and Bill, is very important, because people.
Oops.
They're used to that already. Anyway, it's very important because we've come into a world where people want to share experiences, and they want to share it with others. And this modern communication has opened that door where we want to be performance driven. And what we want is, we want people to delight in the performance of their products and be able to share with their friends or their social circle the things that they've discovered, the things that they feel have solved a problem for them or took their car to a higher performance level. And I think what you're doing is very important, because we have our feet solidly on the ground in performance and the experience of this. And that's what we want to share with people. One of the things that I used to tell Kelly is, I'm an auto enthusiast, and I have 269 GTOs, and I go to car shows, and I'm always looking at other people's cars that are on display. But I'm really not looking at their car, looking at what's in the trunk. What I do is I go, oh, I see you got that, and I ask them questions why I use it. And it's not that I'm how come you're not using Turtle Wax? I'm being prejudiced in why you're using Maguire's or whatever. I'm trying to learn, where did you get that experience from? Where did you get that knowledge from? And you'll find that in a lot of car clubs and car club cultures, there's one alpha in the group that kind of dictates to the rest of the club members of what they should be using. And that person is an example, because their car is always winning awards and looking the best. Everybody wants to be like that guy. Yeah. And it's part of that communication circle. And I think that's why Kelly is doing, the Shine Squad, is people like to emulate or try to be like other people or have what they have. And some of those experiences can transcend to various customers, because if you put a little effort in, you can make your car look a lot better. You can take a 10-year-old car and make it look like it's just drove off the showroom. And that's where the pride comes in. You know, I drive older cars simply because I like to work on cars. And if I buy a new car, I'm not going to be able to do as many experiments on the car. if I don't have an older car. Plus, I get to experience all the problems that are but again, it's all about engaging the consumer and helping them to help themselves and to be proud of what they're able to do.
I'm going to say, just hand over to Matt and say to Matt, is there any other questions that you've got kind of written down that you need to fill in for your video and get?
I've got one going back a fair bit actually. It's something Darren touched on about reading all the comments. Excuse me. Obviously, one thing you see a lot, not just on our videos or on our comments, but on Instagram in general, is a lot of people seem to think graphene is just a fad. But to me, that's going back almost 10 years when ceramics first came out. So is this going to be the new ceramic hype, and is this going to replace ceramic, or will it just be another line manufacturers like yourself will have that goes alongside ceramic ranges? Because I think ceramics have replaced carnauba based waxes in some respects. I know there's a lot of wax fans still, so yeah, will this replace ceramic or just sit alongside ceramics?
Well, I think ceramics have gotten a lot better. I'm sorry, am I stepping on somebody?
Hey, you're just stepping on me, Mike.
Okay, good. It's always been stepping
That's
on
all
you.
right. No, my comments quick is that if you look at what's going on at retail or even online, carnauba was king forever.
Yeah.
And still I'd say 3/4 of the consumer never knew what carnauba meant. They just knew it meant something good. So they didn't know it was a plant or anything about it. I think you're going to see, because we see it, almost anybody that's a big company now is in ceramics. I mean, when you see Armor All in ceramics, which you will see, which we know we've seen from SEMA what they're bringing and everything, it's the new level. It's like, I don't want to call it the new low, but it's the standard. It's the new carnauba. So yes, the answer is, what is the new technology going forward? Is it graphene? Is it something else? I think that the thing that's fun right now is everybody is hungry for innovation and to find that next level. And so, many of us set for 10 years on carnauba. Gosh, it's longer than 10 years for sure. And yes, carnauba is still usable and it's not, dead, but there are more superior polymer technology that's out there, and that's a fact. And so yeah, that level has moved and it's going to continue to move. I've never seen it move so much in all the years I've been 20 plus years in the industry. It's like forever it was just like slightly moving, and then it just shot straight up. And so yeah, we're in a exciting time right now for car care.
Well, what I was going to bring up, Darren, was you're right. Innovation is driving it, but came from. They came from professional coatings, and some of these coatings were very, very expensive. Consumers were spending $1,000 US to have a dealer put it on their car. So there was that promise of long-lasting durability, that evolution of technology that made your car look better. Very knowledgeable of the technologies that are out there, and they strive to try to find those technologies. And ceramic happened to actually move from the professional level down to the consumer level, where it's a little bit more usable. And that's what helps drive the category, but you got to have a technology that is actually beneficial and proven. And that's what kind of drives the market. You just can't come up with the next ingredient unless there's some rationale science behind it, because consumers are not going to fall for the fads anymore, as to mention. They're looking for performance-driven technology, something that either somebody's written about or it's rooted in science, and people are striving for that. And you've seen a lot of the technology in the last 10 years in cars has changed dramatically, from our tech inside the vehicle to the durability, our exterior, the horsepower that's put up, the handling, all of these things. And consumers are striving and looking for that next best thing, but it's got to be rooted in true science and
I think that's where the big change has been. Is it's proof. It's up until now, all you had was words on a label and pictures. Physical activity that is detailing a car, when it's a physical object that you've got to review, it's only the advent of video that people can now actually check, because all the products used to claim the same thing. They're all easy to use, they all lasted for years, and they all were super durable. It's only because you can now actually see it online without having to buy a bottle that consumers now have the proof.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Matt, have you got anything else that you'd want to put in there?
I think that's it from me, I think. So I think you've pretty much run this all yourself, Bill, quite well, thanks. So
There you go, come on, Dad. Makes a change.
definitely.
Good. Well, I'd like to say thank you for joining us today and giving up your time for an hour or so. And we'll be in touch about other bits and pieces. Christian, I'll get in contact with you and Matt about maybe looking at seeing how we can get the series going and getting a video series going. But yeah, thank you very much for your time, guys.
Thank you.
Having us.
Thank you, Matt.
Matt, do you want to wrap up the video with?
What's that, sorry?
Anything else to wrap the video up with, or are you done?
I think you've pretty much wrapped it up well anyway, but I'll wrap it out anyway. So, yeah, thanks everyone at Turtle Wax. This is putting me on the spot.
Well, thanks very much, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Bye.
Thanks, bye. So thanks very much to Bill for running that whole interview there. It made a change from me doing all the talking on camera for once, and also thanks to the guys from Turtle Wax for joining us this evening. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure you smash that like button, and if you're not subscribed to this channel already, please do consider subscribing as well. Also, don't forget to check us out on Instagram at DetailingWorldOfficial. You can check me out on there for the behind the scenes at Randomly Set, and I'll also put several Instagram accounts up for Turtle Wax as well if you want to go ahead and follow those guys. So, yep, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you in the next one.